Like the title suggests, Creed 3
I got that dog in me.
Creed 3 is about running away from your past and learning to accept that and adapt. And you can see that theme running in both the story and cleverly integrated into the fight choreography. With any boxing movie, you gotta sell the main relationship and create a conflict that's more mental than the actual physical one. Jonathan Majors' character as Michael B. Jordan's Adonis Creed's childhood friend is sold really well here, as you feel the anguish that they both feel from the handling of a past traumatic experience. Different parallels are created from their paths, and it's cool to see a protagonist who is not really in the wrong or in the right, right? He's really just trying to learn to accept and to grow from his trauma. And the stark difference between Creed's, posh, fancy, perfect life versus Anderson's ticking watch as he tries to make up for lost time to achieve a dream that seems so fleeting. On a high level, you can say this movie is just like two dudes kind of fighting because they don't want to actually talk about their feelings. But when you dive down into it, it feels very real because of the fear and the way that we struggle to rationalize things that life throws at us, whether it be the jealousy, the guilt, the frustration, and how it culminates into just these strong emotions where a lot of times you aren't expressing them or handling them in the best way possible. The fight stylization is amazing, where each fight feels very unique, and you can see a little bit of that like anime touch that like Michael B. Jordan kept on trying to hype up with, where the moves have this kind of atmosphere that they create, and then there's a mental, slowdown and block of each of the moves as you see each of the hits really like land, and you can see the thought process going into each attack. And there's no like super moves or anything like that, but there's still like a big sense of stylization to each of the punches that make the action even more entertaining. And the movie doesn't overstay its welcome. There isn't that many fights in it. It goes for more of a quality versus quantity approach, and that helps a lot with the build up and the hype, as the same way that a lot of shows or movies or even real fights have this huge build up to maybe something that only in reality is a couple minutes. It elevates it a lot and makes the fights a lot more impactful, a lot more suspenseful, a lot more meaningful, and just honestly a lot more entertaining. And the movie's also like really solidly paced. It's about 2 hours long, which I think is more than enough. It felt like the proper length to tell the story it needed to. And on top of that, they toss in a great soundtrack. But overall, it's better than I expected. With Creed 2, we saw a little bit of a dip from how amazing Creed 1 was. But honestly, this movie is closer to the quality of Creed 1 than it was of Creed 2. And that's surprising because this is Michael B. Jordan's like directorial debut. So he does a really good job. And obviously this is a franchise he understands and a style that he understands, but he's able to throw a little bit more of his personality in there and, elevate the franchise in a way that justified having this third movie, where in a franchise that has, like 10 boxing movies already, how do you make each one feel different or unique? And he was still able to do that with this story. And I think this would be a good conclusion for the Creed storyline. Obviously teases and stuff for maybe other stuff within this, universe. But if this is the final film for the Adonis's storyline, then I think they wrapped it up well. And I think you kind of saw one more aspect to his personality and one more big character growth moment as he tries to accept his past and move past that. If I was to nitpick, the only thing is there's maybe a few plot points that are dropped a little bit too quickly and resolved a little too easily, but that would really be nitpicking. There isn't any huge flaws to this movie. It's just a fun time, and really hope it does well, and it seems to be reviewing fairly well, so good for them. And the final judges scored it a 8 out of 10. Woo. Stay tuned for more reviews and movies. A lot of stuff still in March to come. So yeah, stay hype, stay boxing, stay working out. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.